Nigeria for the statement. I now give the floor to the representative of the United Kingdom.
Thank you, President. I'd like to start by thanking ASG Yenka for your briefing. I also want to express my gratitude to Eli David for his powerful advocacy in support of his brother and for the hostages in Gaza. I want to reassure Mr. David through the Israeli delegation that the UK stands with your family and the families of all those who have suffered due to Hamas' inhuman and cruel actions, including British citizen Ditsa Orr, whose son Avinatan remains in captivity. This Council has called for the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages in all 4 of its resolutions since October 7th, and I repeat that call today. As my Foreign Secretary has said, the images of Eviatar and other emaciated hostages paraded in front of cameras for propaganda are depraved. Hamas and its terrorist ideology can have no place in the future governance of Gaza and should never again threaten Israel's security. President, the ceasefire at the beginning of this year was a rare moment of hope, which allowed hostages to be released and the UN to surge aid into Gaza. Since the ceasefire ended, the suffering of the hostages and Palestinian civilians has plumbed new and shocking depths. Israel's aid restrictions have led to famine now unfolding in Gaza, as reported by the IPC. Last week, I spoke with doctors who had served in Gaza. They had seen children so malnourished that their wounds festered for months without healing. They had seen baby formula confiscated by the IDF at the border, depriving newborns of the basic essentials for life. I call on Israel now to act to alleviate this horrendous suffering. We need to see restrictions on aid delivery lifted in line with the principles of humanity, impartiality, neutrality, and independence. And the UN must be able to operate safely and at scale. We also call for all land routes to be opened for essential supplies, including food, baby formula, medicine, fuel, and clean water. We call for Israel to ensure the protection of civilians, medics, and aid workers. And we are appalled that another Palestinian Red Crescent worker was killed this week by an Israeli strike on its headquarters. Israel must investigate this and other similar incidents. President, as I said, the ceasefire earlier this year showed what can be achieved when there is political will. And last week's two-state solution conference showed what can be achieved when the international community comes together. We urge the parties to reinvigorate their efforts to secure a ceasefire deal and an end to the conflict. As my Prime Minister set out last week, the UK is ready to play its full and historic part in achieving a plan which ends the bloodshed, brings the hostages home, and lays the foundation for a Palestinian state. Statehood is the inalienable right of the Palestinian people and is essential to the long-term security of Israel. I thank you.
I thank the representative of the United